Hello, I'm Jake,
And I'm Marlin.
aka Gee, and welcome to a fresh from the theater review, first one of 2023. It's been a while, meant to do this a little sooner, but delays kept happening, sometimes snow blizzard related, sometimes house cleaning related, but anyway, we're here now, and today we're going to be talking about John Wick Chapter 4. I know we're a little late to the party as far as reviewing goes, but timing. And we did fresh in the theater review on this a few years ago for the third one. And we saw the first two at home, and I think we enjoyed them both very much.
Very much.
Third one I thought was fun, but I thought they were starting to stretch it out a little bit. And with this one, I can say that the first John Wick was a definite kick-ass film. This movie kicked that film's ass. And what was your first impression?
Well, not my first impression, but it was lengthy. But, yes, you were not tired of seeing it all happen. I just marvel at the choreography of all the fight scenes in all of these movies. But they just got better and better and more inventive. So there was a lot of fight scenes, but you didn't get tired of them because they kept changing it up.
This movie, I saw the length of it and I was a little nervous. It's 2 hours and 49 fucking minutes. And there are a few sequences that definitely feel like they were stretching, but it never felt like it was dragging itself. Maybe it stretched a little, but never dragged. It kept it entertaining, and they luckily did not try to go further with how big this criminal empire is, but they still kept it kind of big and just knew how to keep it. And the basic summarization is, after the end of the third film, John Wick's fighting the people in charge of the Empire, the Table as they're called, going after the guy who now apparently runs the majority of it, the Marquis, played by Bill Skarsgård, who I haven't watched in something since the It movies, where like the Marquis, Skarsgård, I believe he played Pennywise the Dancing Clown.
Okay.
And I honestly was not a fan of his take on Pennywise, but I really thought he did well here as this young but still very evil, threatening villain of sorts.
He was that. He was that. And he didn't overplay it. He was just a bad person.
Yeah, and we got the return of, aside from Keanu Reeves, who I thought still carried the series extremely well. He was great here, as he was before. I think even better than number 3. Like, this is the best he's done as John Wick since, I think, the first one, in terms of his range.
Yeah, he carried his role through all kinds of different manifestations, and he did them all well. Now, I had heard, or maybe you had told me, some worry about a man of his age doing all of the athleticism in the choreographed combat and all of that kind of thing. He did not look off his game to me.
I never thought he looked off his game, but I was starting to notice in the last one, he is starting to look older.
Yes.
But
he still springs around and does, magnificent athletic headshots and kicks and all that other kind of thing. But he carried his role well outside of the fight sets. He was good at what he was supposed to do. He delivered.
And also returning is Ian McShane as Winston, and I love Ian McShane, and I'm kind of surprised he's made it this far. And given this is a video with Guy, we're generally going to avoid spoilers, but there is one thing I want to talk about. It's regarding the character Charon, played by Lance Reddick, Winston's right-hand man. As many as know, Lance Reddick has sadly died recently.
Yes.
And I was surprised, but I really respected it, how he died maybe a week, maybe, it's about either a week or a week and a half, I think, before the movie got its release. And they took the time to quickly put a in memory of credit at the beginning of the film. So I thought that was very nice.
Very nice.
And
good touch.
Well, it is a bit shocking. They do take him out of this film, and well, as much as I hate to see him go, I feel it's for the best, because, yeah, they can't bring him back now.
And somebody who played an ongoing supporting role, and I had heard Clancy Brown was in the movie, but I wasn't really looking for him. It took me to close to the end before I realized that's Clancy Brown.
Yeah, the fucking Kurgan is in this, and it's not an action role. And
No, it's not a Kurgan role.
I was a little worried they were going to waste him, but I felt they gave the film a little bit of an extra dramatic edge.
Yeah, it did.
When he put the marquee in his place in that one scene.
But you'll find out.
And we also have Donnie Yen playing a new character. This a former assassin / friend of John Wick, because he has a lot of old friends. And for a moment I was kind of worried that his character was going to become way too stupid, but they made it work. And just to put it simply, he plays a former assassin who's now blind and trained sense of hearing. He's still able to kick ass, and if you've ever seen the show Daredevil, then it's not that hard to get into this character and what they do with him. And
you got to give only a minor amount of allowance. It's not awful, and it's an effective character too. The role played is kind of part of the whole plot.
Yeah, and last of the returning cast was Lawrence Fishburne, who still a relatively small character, but he does have a presence, and
yep.
He's honestly one of the nicer, more pleasant additions to the film. And the Bowery King is a surprisingly heartfelt character. The only other things I can think of, the action sequences are great, and in a way, they almost like the action chase fight before the big finale.
Mm-hmm.
That almost felt like it could have been its own movie, almost.
Yeah.
And it's almost like they had an idea for 2 John Wick movies, but then they decided, let's just put it all together and make it really long.
Yeah, it had some length to it, but it was fun. It was fun.
They never run out, and remember when they did the Honest trailer for the second, third one, they did that montage of all the headshots. I can only imagine the montage they're gonna get out of this fucker.
There's probably an hour's worth.
Yeah.
I'm exaggerating a little bit.
The body count for this film, I'd be surprised if it doesn't set the world fucking record. And was there anything you didn't enjoy?
No, nothing I didn't enjoy, but the guy that he was supposed to kill, so he got a chance to kill the guy he was supposed to kill. You'll understand if you see the movie. The big guy. They must have had somebody in a fat suit. Nobody moved like that guy who was that big on camera.
Yeah.
He was a mountain.
This Euro gangster with gold teeth. This dude, I think this dude might be the hardest guy John Wick has had to kill. And this guy just kept getting up, and And give the actor this. Like, that was the one part that I was worried was going to drag, but this guy was just eating up the scenery, just chewing it up with his gold munchers.
He was, that was quite a character, but it was surprising too, because he wasn't like big, you know, built like a just a fat guy. But boy, when he got into it, he moved.
And the stuff with the family, like John's supposed family, it was well shot, but they did go a bit with it, and that was one part that didn't really leave much impact with me. The one part of the film that made me almost, this was a great goddamn action movie, but the one part that almost made me feel like, okay, I'm done, was, and you'll know it when you see it, it's when John is falling down some stairs.
Oh.
That just, that was silent era levels of slapstick. And I know there's humor to these movies, but that was just really stupid for me.
A lot of stairs.
And only thing that's not a negative, but it's kind of a half and half. There's this character in the film, and he's called Mr. Nobody. I think this might be the 10th action film that's done something like that. But the character was good. He's the one with the new dog, because this movie loves having them dogs, and he was fun. I like kind of the building of the somewhat twisted relationship he has with John, but I honestly can say if this character wasn't in the film, it wouldn't really have taken away, or he didn't really add anything new. He's just kind of there almost.
Yeah, it gave additional action, good quality action, and the guy was not a bad actor, but the role itself was a real, almost like a tangential thing to the plot line.
If you haven't seen John Wick Chapter 4 yet, then I say get your ass to the theater. And one thing I'm not certain of, will there be anything in the future? Because knowing the series and knowing how franchises work, they'd probably find a way. And if this is the last one, then respect, but they ended in a way where you're going to be wondering, is it? But
yeah, why did they do that?
yeah, just, I don't know. It makes me scratch my head, but if this is the last one, then it would be a satisfactory end. And Keanu Reeves, this is the series that brought him back after years of post-Matrix mockery. I hope we get to see him for a lot longer. Hats off to him, director Chad Stahelski, I think that's how you pronounce it, and everyone else in this cast. This was a great film, and is that all you have to say?
That's about all I say. If you like John Wick 1, you'll like John Wick 4.
Cool. And I think a good note to go out on is a little funny story of like being in the theater. There was this guy, it was just something that I took notice of, that I noticed this guy in front of us, and he was just sitting there, and he got up a couple of times because I guess weak bladder. But there was one part where he got up and he left his coat on the chair, and before he got up, he was kind of hunched to the side. It sounded like he was digging through something. So when he got up and left, I just kept staring at his chair, and I was like, is something about to blow up? He came back, so no, but either way, good movie, fun experience, and
And nothing blew up in the theater. That's the good part.
yeah, these days it's hard to tell what the hell's gonna happen. But anyway, check it out.
Yes, highly recommend.